Hi everybody, thanks for coming and welcome back to the channel. It's been a little while, I understand. I promised myself I would not apologize for things that were beyond my control, and one of those was definitely the fact that I was quite tired. Sorry, there's quite a bit of glare coming through the window. Not that I don't enjoy the sunlight and the freshness of the natural light. It just makes it really hard to see me on the video screen. So I would normally say, oh, I'm so sorry, I haven't made content in a while, but the reality is I've been completely exhausted. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I'll be perfectly honest with you. This is just an Americano with my little, made from my Tassimo pod machine. I'm not quite sure where it's coming from exactly. I have my suspicions. I've not stopped being carnivore. I'm going to stay carnivore because that's where I feel my best. That is where I find the greatest reduction in joint pain and just overall improvement in my health. But as far as feeling physically exhausted, I think the truth is that there's so many things I was going to do and wanted to do and had every intention of doing, and I tried to do far too much, far too quickly. And that's my thing, right? If one of these, if one improvement is good, then six in one go is even better. Not allowing myself the chance to truly heal and slow right down. I feel like I have to cross the finish line. I have to get to the end goal, the target, or it's never going to happen. And that's in everything with my life. So if you've not watched my videos before, I'm Megan, the faithful fibromyalgia warrior. And the thing that I've had to really take into heart, especially this week, or the last few days, is that healing is not a linear journey. There are stops and starts and stalls along the way. And I might be great at telling everybody else, hey, take your time. Don't worry about doing everything all at once. Make small changes. Just, don't try to do too much too quickly. But when it comes to applying it in my own life, I'm terrible. And a lot of that comes back to the fact that I do deal with anxiety. And although it is much better managed these days than it was before I was carnivore, it's still there. And there are sometimes little moments in life where I have in my head I'll be like, oh, I've surrendered, God's in control. But deep down there's all these worries like, what if this doesn't come through? What if we don't get that email in time? What if we don't get confirmation from somebody this is going to happen? What then? Instead of trusting, yeah, we know it's been planned, we know it's arranged, it's going to be fine. It might take, maybe somebody's taking time off or they need a few days to get back to me, for example. Okay. So that's one thing. I absolutely stand by, and highly recommend the carnivore way of eating. I'm convinced that is how we are meant to live. That is what we require for our bodies to be properly nourished. Because, for example, animal sources of protein are complete sources. Everything we require, amino acids, building blocks, all of it, we can get from animal sources of protein. If we rely on plant sources, we have to really work extra hard to get all the micro and macronutrients we require, because plant sources of protein are incomplete. That's just a fact, right? Whereas everything we could possibly require is from an animal source, be it beef, lamb, pork, poultry, whether it's animal source products such as eggs or dairy, in addition to the actual animals themselves. It's all there. Seafood, fish, all of it. So I absolutely will say 100% in every case, that's the best thing to be eating, without a doubt. But where I've fallen down is trapping myself in the ideas that other people have or follow that may not be right for me. I'm still healing. I made videos a week ago and even before then about how great I felt after I went to the gym. Now, I had not been to the gym in 10 years, okay? And at that point, I was feeling like, yeah, I'd like to maybe use the weight machines, get a bit on the stationary bike, get some cardio going. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I did enjoy the workouts, and I did feel good, and I did have energy. And I don't want to take away from any of that. I haven't been in a couple weeks because I've been so completely exhausted. I have felt like a failure. I have felt like I've done something wrong because here I am super tired and I'm just barely getting the energy up to take the dogs out for a walk, every day or every other day. Just a couple miles, nothing far, but just something that I can enjoy. And I was so stressed out about not feeling up to the gym that it affected everything else. And instead of having gratitude that, hey, the gym's there whenever I want it and I can go whenever I feel like it, but that maybe my body is not at that healed point yet. Essentially, as great as my workouts were, and I got, 3-4 times a week for almost 3 weeks, and it was good. I'm not saying it wasn't. The days I wasn't at the gym, I had almost no energy. So I was pushing myself, but I realized I pushed myself too hard, too soon, because it was starting to take me longer to recover. And instead of being okay with that and just going, hey, you know what? Yes, I've enjoyed this yesterday or a couple days ago, but I'm still sore. I'm still achy. I need to recover still. How about I work on just some walking, a little bit easier on my joints, a little bit easier on my body, because I'm not quite healed. Instead of being okay with that, I was feeling guilty. And then I was feeling anxious because I was feeling guilty, because it's what I do. It's what a lot of us do, men and women, but women tend to be more ones who struggle with anxiety. And I just kept sticking with, I have to get to my goal ahead. I have to get to the goal ahead. I have to get to the gym 4 times a week. Why? Why? Yes, is it ultimately a good thing to be doing for my overall bone density and my muscle health? Of course it is. But at the cost of my sanity, of my peace, of my healing? No. And the interesting thing is that as much as I got that here, I hadn't truly accepted it here. That it's okay on those days where I just don't feel like I have any motivation and I just feel too exhausted or even too sore to do anything. Or maybe God's way of saying, rest, heal, try again tomorrow, or wait and try later. And to be honest, guys, I had a hard time even just sitting down to make this video. But then I realized, how am I helping anybody? If I can't be real with my own struggles, how's anyone going to feel like I might be able to sympathize or help them? Because if all you see is me like, I went to the gym, it was awesome, I felt great. And I did. I'm not lying. I did feel good. But by 2 o'clock, I was just dead exhausted. Didn't want to move, didn't want to get up, didn't want to do anything. And so that's not necessarily good either. I realized I have to get back to the very core, very basic healing principles. Eating enough, for my nutritional requirements every day as a first step, which I wasn't doing. I was under eating. I wasn't eating enough. And then secondly, getting enough rest, getting enough solid sleep through the night and at night, slowing down during the day, taking a break or a rest if I need it, that it's okay. Because as much as I've had great improvements, I'm still healing. And that doesn't make what I've accomplished any less. And it doesn't mean that there hasn't been some miraculous healing that's happened. But somehow in my head, if I wasn't ready to get up and do a triathlon or, hike through the Pyrenees or even the Alps, that somehow God's healing didn't count, which is ridiculous. And I hear that when I say that out loud. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. But that's where I was at. And I thought, I know I should share, I know I should make a video, but I just haven't got the energy. And that is my reality. That is the reality of a lot of us, is whether we're coming off carbs and sugar at first and we feel exhausted because we're getting withdrawal symptoms from those spikes and we have to, regulate our blood sugar levels. That's one thing. If we've had interrupted or sleep that has not been restful, and we are now suddenly, our bodies are finally getting more restful sleep, we're going to still feel tired because we have to adjust to getting a good night's sleep that is restful. Which, by the way, for me, after I have dinner, I put on my blue blocker lens covers because it helps my body to wind down at night naturally and go to sleep deeply at an earlier time for longer through the evening and through the night. So I don't need as much rest, and I feel more rested when I do get up the next day. For me personally, that's what I do. I keep my coffee down to generally 2 large. These are good size. This is a good size mug, but it's got the equal of 1 espresso shot in it, which is really, considering if you go to a cafe like Costa or Starbucks, you get 3 shots in a large coffee, right? I think 4 with Costa, but typically you get 3 regular size espresso shots in 1 large, say, cappuccino, even with their Americanos, right? So this is just 1 espresso shot with hot water, so it might look like it's a lot of caffeine. It's really not. I'm really trying to minimize the amount of caffeine I take during the day because I don't want to keep myself up artificially. I still enjoy my coffee, and I'm not going to apologize for it. I know that ultimately, is it probably best if I don't have any? Yes. Am I ready to give it up fully? No. And so that's that. Okay. Other than maybe 1 cappuccino a day, most days, truthfully, most days, not every single day, but most days. Okay. That's what I do. And that may work for you. That may not work for you. You may not be able to tolerate caffeine at all, be it coffee or tea, and only you know yourself. For me, that's what I do. But it's really seeing that I don't have to rush through all the steps of my life right here, right now, to get to the end goal. My end goal, eventually, is that I will not need my electric wheelchair ever, like for anything. I'll be able to walk into the local grocery store in town, and, when we're out of a few little bits and pieces here and there, maybe not a full shop, but a part shop, I'll be able to buy it and carry the bags home, either in a backpack or, in those bags for life. That's ultimately my end goal, because I want to get to a point in life where when my husband and I go away on holiday, I will not need a wheelchair at all through the airports. I will not need a wheelchair at all where we stay. We can go on walks together. If we go back to Porto in Portugal, which is very hilly, we can walk those pathways and those hills together, or at least some of them. And I won't need to be in a wheelchair, relying on someone else to push me around, or figuring out how to take the electric wheelchair with us. I don't want to have to be in that place. But I'm there right now, and so for me to have to step back and go, but that's okay. That's where I'm at now. That's okay. I can do a short little 2-mile walk with the dogs. And that's okay. And that's good. Fresh air, bit of energy, and I feel great. That's all I can do. That's okay. And I'm finally accepting here, not just here, but here, it's okay. Yesterday, I vacuumed the whole lounge and the front hallway. Looks great. Got out the attachment tools and everything. And that may not seem like much to someone, but for me, wow, that's huge progress. And I guess I'm sharing this because I'll be honest with you guys, if somebody else told me that's what they did, I'd be so supportive and encouraging. But when I do it myself, it's like, it doesn't count. I didn't run 5 miles or 10 miles. I'm not, bench pressing weights. We're lifting weights every day for X amount of weight. Okay. Yet. And that just reminded me that life happens in moments and stages. I'm still working my way through my diploma. I'm halfway through my level 4 stuff. Fantastic, right? Hopefully by the end of this year, I'll have completed level 4 and then be on my way to doing level 5 come the new year. That's my hope. That's what I'm hoping for. But even then, I had to just take a break. I had to take a few days and just do no schoolwork because it was too much. I felt overwhelmed. As much as the content was informative and interesting to me, I reached a point where I had a mental block and an energy block. And I felt so guilty, but that was just where I was at. And I had to make myself not do anything. Read a book for fun. Watch something on Netflix or a video on YouTube. Why? Because I realized God was trying to tell me, stop burning yourself out. Stop trying to do everything all at once. Things will happen when they're supposed to happen. But enjoy life. Enjoy the time as it happens, as it passes. Don't be in such a rush to do all this stuff. And I think more than anything, that's why I wanted to make this video today, because part of me honestly felt guilty for not having content up before today. I want to share what I'm going through and bring it to you guys regularly, and it's all great in my head, and then I have to sit down, and when life actually smacks me in the face, as it were, like I'm exhausted, I'm sore, where my spinal disc prolapsed 9 years ago. It's been really achy in the same sort of area lately. I don't think I've injured it. I don't think I've pulled anything. It's just, I don't know why, but it's been really sore. And so I've had to be extra careful. And I would be all about just grinding through, pushing through, making it happen, but not necessarily giving the best of myself. If that makes sense? Just try to get it over and done with instead of, hey, you know what? This could be cool. Let's try that. This could be great. Let's do this. And so it was really, honestly, I think it was the Holy Spirit nudging me, whispering at me, shouting at me with a whisper, if you will, to share where I've been at for the last couple of weeks. And I have every intention of eventually getting back to the gym when I'm ready. But I'm trying to live my life a moment at a time, because that seems to me the best way to do it. Instead of, we can plan ahead a little bit, but the thing with life is so much can happen that we can't plan for. And I just want to be grateful for all that I have right now, for all the blessings I've been given as of today. And if anything more should come along, fantastic. But if where I'm at right now is the extent of healing, for example, then I want to be able to still be grateful and okay with that. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it is. But I don't want to compromise my mental health, or rather my overall well-being, by pushing myself so much with my education, with my physical improvements, that one, I don't enjoy it. Two, I do far too much far too soon, and I get injured again. Or, even worse, I just become resentful because, I don't want that to happen. I want to be grateful for what I have. Instead of thinking about what I should have done and what I wished I'd done, it might seem silly, but I've had to stop and go, yeah, but I'm just me. I'm not one of these other influencers. I'm not. And they're who they are, and I'm who I am. And there's a reason for that. So if, by me saying that, if that has any sort of resonance with you, if that helps you in any way, I'm grateful. I'm thankful. I have a feeling there's more people that are probably like me than are not, right? I do not begrudge these other influencers. If they're doing well and they have a great message, fantastic. I hope I can reach more people. But I realize I can't do it at the expense of my own sanity and well-being. So, bit of a longer message today, you guys. I wanted to be honest with you with where I've been at, what I've been struggling with, because, like I say, I'm pretty confident that I'm not the only person who struggles with these things. Wanting to get to the end goal and pushing myself too hard to get there, at the risk of potential injury, frustration, and wanting to give up and quit because it's been far too much and that's it, I'm done. I can't do this. It's too much going on. I don't want to be there. There will be times where, I got to push through because I've got schoolwork to complete. I've got assessments to do. That's fine. That's part of being a student. I get that. Even if it's online, I get that. But as far as everything else, I'm realizing not only is it okay to have to take days of breaks or to get my mind doing other things every now and again, that it's probably actually the best possible thing for me to do. Because if I'm just forcing myself through the coursework, it's just overall not good for me. For anybody, I'm sure. Anyways, sorry guys. I just wanted you guys to know that I'm here. I'm doing okay, actually. The last few days have been really refreshing for me. Just the way I've been able to get into really studying the Bible and God's Word and meditating, not just on what I've been reading scripture-wise, but to really look at how God's trying to work in my life. And I know for sure that He's trying to work in all our lives. And I'm going to listen. If the Spirit's saying, hey, slow down a bit, enjoy life, don't take on too much too soon, and that's okay, I hope that I can share that with you guys. I hope it helps. I'm not saying I'm doing it perfectly because I'm not, and I might wake up tomorrow and feel guilty because I did 2 modules of school instead of the 6 I had planned on. Who knows? My brain is crazy that way. But I want to enjoy the journey, not just the destination. And that kind of speaks to life as a Christian and just life as a human being, I think. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching all the way to the end. And I appreciate all of your support and your patience. And I do really hope you guys are keeping well and doing well. And I will come back to you with more content as soon as I have it. That's it for today. What is today? Today is September the 22nd. Wow, almost autumn. I love this time of year. It's about 16 degrees out. Feels like it's 14 or 15, so I've got my zip up, my Depeche Mode. That's what this is, Depeche Mode sweat top, and my long sleeve t-shirt underneath, and my jeans. I love this time of year. Maybe because I have more clothes for the cooler weather than for summer weather. Don't know. But I hope you're doing well wherever you are. I hope you're enjoying your life and that you are encouraged. And for those of you who are Christian, I hope that you are filled with faith and inspiration. And for those of you who are Christian who are struggling with your faith and to be inspired, that happens. I was there. If you talked to me a week or 2 ago, that's where I was at. I was struggling a bit because I was trying to make everything happen according to my will and my time and not God's. So I understand. If I might say anything of encouragement, it would be this, that even those times where it feels like God is far away, He's not. And He's always looking out for us, and He's always looking after us, and He has a plan for us to help us thrive and grow when we listen to His will and we do our best to follow it. Thank you so much for all the ways that you look after, all of us. Sorry, I should say to God. Thank you, God, for how you look after each of us. Thank you, all of you who are faithful supporters and encouragers. I always love hearing how you guys are doing, and it's inspiring to me to hear about your healing journeys as well. So please keep sharing. Put your comments in. Let me know what's going on, how you guys are doing. I should have, in about a month, I should have my results back on my case file assessment, which basically means I should hopefully have passed my level 3, which is in nutrition for weight management. And I might make some content about some of the things I've learned, what things I might be applying to myself or the people in my family as it may or may not apply. If you guys have any questions in the meantime, feel free to ask. All right. Love you guys. Thank you so much for your attention. And I know I'm rambly a bit. It's time for me to go. Remember, meat is the medicine, God is the healer. And everything else will fall into place when we let God be God. And I'm saying that to myself too, by the way, because I forget that one pretty easily. Thanks, guys. Talk to you in the next video. Bye for now.